Peter Norman Fowler, Baron Fowler, PC, is a British politician who was a member of Margaret Thatcher's ministry. He is currently the Lord Speaker, having taken up that office at the beginning of September 2016. After serving as Shadow Minister of Transport, he was appointed Minister of Transport in 1979, being responsible for making seat belts compulsory. Later, as Secretary of State for Health and Social Services, he drew public attention to the dangers of AIDS. He resigned from the cabinet as Employment Secretary and was knighted in 1990. He was chairman of the Conservative Party from 1992 to 1994, Shadow Secretary of State for Environment, Transport and the Regions in 1997–98 and Shadow Home Secretary in 1998–99. In 2001, he was made a Conservative life peer as Baron Fowler. Early life. The son of N.F. and Catherine Fowler, he was educated at King Edward VI Grammar School in Chelmsford, in the county of Essex, after which he did national service as a second lieutenant in the Essex Regiment. Whilst studying at Trinity Hall, Cambridge, he was chairman of the Cambridge University Conservative Association in Michaelmas 1960, in which term he entertained both the Prime Minister Harold Macmillan and Home Secretary Rab Butler. He then became a journalist, and worked on the Times. Member of Parliament, Fowler was elected for Nottingham South in 1970. After the seat was abolished, he switched to Sutton Coldfield at the February 1974 election. In opposition during the mid-1970s, Fowler was Shadow Minister of Transport. In April 1976 he was photographed outside the Palace of Westminster, having just taken delivery of his third four-cylinder MG GT. He had reportedly rejected the idea of buying a V8 version on account of the cost. This enthusiasm for ownership of a sports car contrasted with the behavior of a recently promoted Minister of Transport, who had imputed ownership of the family car to his wife, apparently on grounds of political expediency. In government, upon Margaret Thatcher becoming Prime Minister in 1979, she did not immediately appoint Fowler to her cabinet, explaining, "We were short of one place." As a result, Norman Fowler, as Minister of State at Transport, was not able to be an official member of the cabinet, although he attended all our meetings. As Secretary of State for Transport, Fowler drove through Lord Nugent's 1981 bill to make seat belts compulsory, a law that came into force in 1983. As Secretary of State for Health and Social Security in 1986, Fowler implemented the first official drive to educate the British public to the dangers of AIDS. Edwina Currie and John Major both served under him as junior ministers. Backbenchers, retirement and shadow cabinet. Fowler later resigned from the cabinet as Employment Secretary in January 1990, becoming the first politician to cite to spend more time with my family as his reasoning. The expression later became a smokescreen for politicians who had quit high-profile roles for slightly more darker controversial reasons. Following his resignation from the frontbench, Fowler was knighted in 1990, having spent more time with his family. Fowler then returned twice to frontline politics, first as chairman of the Conservative Party from 1992 to 4, during which time he oversaw the boundary changes in the early 1990s, then on the Conservative frontbench as Shadow Secretary of State for Environment, Transport and the Regions 1997–8 and finally as Shadow Home Secretary 1998–9. In 2001, he stepped down as a Member of Parliament. House of Lords. After standing down from the House of Commons, he was made a Conservative Lord Temporal as Baron Fowler, of Sutton Coldfield in the county of West Midlands. In 2003, he proposed that the European Union should appoint a high-level coordinator with ambassadorial rank to deal with the AIDS epidemic. In 2006, he chaired a House of Lords Select Committee which criticized the use of the television license fee, which is used to fund the BBC, as a tax. His book, A Political Suicide, was published in 2008 and it was shortlisted for the Channel 4 Political Book of the Year award. In May 2013, Fowler gave his support to legislation aiming to extend marriage rights to same-sex couples, stating, "Parliament should value people equally in the law and that enabling same-sex couples to marry removes the current inequity." In 2016, he was elected as Lord Speaker. He will be the first male holder of such a title, though similar responsibilities were held by men prior to the passage of the Constitutional Reform Act. He has stated that he favours reducing the House of Lords to 600 members. Work in industry. He has been deeply involved in industry, having been on the board of directors of several companies. He is non-executive chairman of Aggregate Industries plc. He is a member of the National Union of Journalists. News International phone hacking scandal. Fowler demanded an independent inquiry into the phone hacking inquiry on the 7th of July 2011. He said that the UK was faced by one of the biggest scandals affecting the press in living memory. Styles of address. 1938 to 1970, Mr. P. Norman Fowler. 1970 to 1979, Mr. P. Norman Fowler MP, 1979 to 1990, The Right Honourable P. Norman Fowler MP, 1990 to 2001, The Right Honourable Sir P. Norman Fowler MP, 2001, The Right Honourable the Lord Fowler KTPC.